Hello again. Just a reminder that the videos I've made in this series reflect the IELTS levels 4 and 5. That's very basic, functional and vocational English. For IELTS level 6+, watch my latest series of videos. To achieve success by the end of this series of videos, you should be able to use a minimum of 500 words, both written and spoken, as conversational Australian English. This would deem you to be competent at a vocational level, which is IELTS equivalent of 5. Focus here must be on coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, fluency, enunciation and response, and the use of varying levels of Australian English, slang, colloquial, informal and formal, as the situation and topics of the conversations dictate. In earlier videos, we learnt the vocabulary associated with generations and family relationships, an overview of the education from birth to adulthood in Australia, some tourist places of interest, major cities and towns, food and cooking, accommodation in Australia, the foods we eat, applying for employment, that is a job, neighbourhoods, lifestyle and accommodation, why choose the Australian lifestyle, vocabulary for emotions, reasons for visiting Australia, a day in your life in Australia, the weather, a trip in Australia and eating out. In this last video of this series, we'll be learning about celebrations in Australia. Celebrations in Australia. There are a lot of words here, some of which you'll already have learned, but they will absolutely be very helpful when you visit Australia. I suggest you investigate what each word means while you listen and practice saying them. Here is some vocabulary and information that may be of use to you. Once again, I'll read it to you. Festival, Australia Day, Anzac Day, religious, religions, Christian, Jewish, Judaism, Muslim, Islam, Hindu, Hindi, Hinduism, Buddhist, Buddhism, Easter, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Passover, Ramadan, Diwali, Nirvana. Month, date, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Celebration name, reason for celebration, typical activities during this time, traditional foods that are eaten during this time. Religions are encouraged in Australia, and it is a person's choice which religion is chosen to be followed. Christianity, with 43.9% of the population, is the most common, but people who declare no religion form 38.9% of the population. The next largest religious denomination in Australia is Islam, with 3.2% of the population, followed by Hinduism with 2.7% of the population, Buddhism with 2.4% of the population, and Sikhism with 0.8% of the population. Christianity. Australia is primarily a Christian country. Australia's major religion is Christianity. The most common Christian religious groups include the Roman Catholic Church, or Catholics as they're known, the Church of England, or Anglicans, the Uniting Church, Eastern Orthodox, the Baptist, the Presbyterians, and the Methodists and Pentecostal. In 1977, the Presbyterians and the Methodists combined to make a new name for their church, and it became the Uniting Church. Evangelism is a form of Christianity that means the conversion of people to Christianity. Christians attend church services, usually on a Sunday, but these are also offered at other times, depending on the church and the community. Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus on the 25th of December each year. Jesus is regarded as the Son of God. Christians celebrate Easter on varying dates depending on the phases of the moon. It is the first Sunday after the full moon that occurs on or after the spring equinox. It occurs in either March or April. It is a recognition of the death and resurrection of Jesus. Special days in Australia. December the 31st is New Year's Eve, and across the country there are celebrations to see in the new year. These usually take the form of family gatherings to watch firework displays organised by the local councils. In Sydney, the firework display is centred around Sydney Harbour and the Harbour Bridge. Many people gather on the harbour foreshores and have picnics while they wait for the fireworks. Many boats anchor in the harbour to watch the display. In January, the first day, January the 1st, New Year's Day, is celebrated with a public holiday. The day in Sydney sees displays on Sydney Harbour, yachts, boats and ferries, taking advantage of the summer weather. Along the foreshores, families gather together again to have celebratory picnics. Traditional foods at this time, usually a barbecue, and often lamb is the centrepiece for the meat eaters. The next public holiday in Australia is Australia Day. This is the 26th of January, and it is a reminder of the day the British flag was first raised in Australia by the British and Australia officially became a colony of Great Britain. On the 26th of January 1788, Captain Arthur Phillip, later to become Governor Arthur Phillip, performed this ceremony. This day has been celebrated as a public holiday since that time. Traditional foods. Again, a barbecue is usually the focus and any sort of meat is appropriate. The next public holidays are usually a celebration of Easter. This is a Christian celebration that remembers the death of Jesus and the resurrection of Jesus. The public holidays are known as Good Friday, that's the Friday, and Easter Sunday and Easter Monday. Depending on the time of the last full moon after the vernal equinox, which is one of the 2 times each year when the sun crosses the celestial equator and when day and night are of equal length. Traditional foods, Easter eggs. These are chocolate treats that start to be sold in shops as early as February. Again, a family barbecue is common at this time. On the 25th of April, the important day known as Anzac Day is commemorated. This day remembers all Australian and New Zealand military personnel who fought for their country in wars. There is always an Anzac Day memorial service in Martin Place in Sydney, and it is held as a dawn service. Other dawn services are held throughout Australia and New Zealand. The term Anzac stands for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. Traditional foods, definitely Anzac biscuits. These were baked during World War I and sent over to the Anzac troops and arrived almost as fresh as the day they were taken out of the oven. In the Australian Capital Territory, the ACT, New South Wales, NSW, Victoria, Vic, Tasmania, Tas, South Australia, SA, and Northern Territory, NT, there is also a public holiday recognition of the King's birthday. The next official national public holidays occur for the Christmas period. Christmas Day, the 25th of December, is a celebration of the birth of Jesus. Boxing Day is held the following day on the 26th of December. Boxing Day was a time that traditionally servants were given a holiday and presented with treats in a box. Traditional foods include turkey, duck, chicken, ham, pineapple, Christmas cake, Christmas pudding, seafood of all types, salmon, prawns, lobsters, scallops, just to name a few. If you have completed all 20 videos in this series, you should easily achieve your goal of IELTS level 4 or 5. Please feel welcome to watch the next series of videos to achieve your IELTS goal of level 6. Also watch out for the videos, verbs and their usage and grammar. Please continue to watch the next videos where you'll learn more conversational English and extend your knowledge and skills in Australian English, reading, speaking, listening, writing and understanding. And can I ask you, if this content has been helpful, would you please subscribe to this channel? Many thanks and hope you get to Australia one day.